Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Best Life and Beyond and the weekly blab that we try to do every week, but we end up not getting there all the time.
It's like the monthly blab.
It's the blab that wants to happen weekly but doesn't all the time. But it's here, we're back, and we are going to discuss the week that happened and the weeks that are ahead, what's going on, how we feel about certain things, how we felt about, I don't know, last week, and how we're looking forward to next week.
Yeah, you can kind of call it like a little bit of a life update.
Yeah.
Stuff of our upcoming plans.
Yeah, and kind of a little bit of the behind the scenes of what happened, and the stuff that maybe you didn't see, or the stuff that we did, but kind of the motivations behind it, those types of things. It's just kind of more discussion based, a little more podcast based in its form. So let's get into last week.
Yeah, but first of all, we'll start off with the obvious that we are not in Orange County.
True.
We're back at the beach, so you may hear a little bit of ocean noises, and we do want to let you know, just before we turned on the camera, we found out that there's a fire about less than 5 miles from here.
Yeah.
So in case you hear some sirens and whatnot, just know that that's what it is. It's being fought, and you know, that's just kind of where we're at. So in case you hear stuff like that, know that that's what it is.
Doesn't mean the cops are coming for us.
Or does it?
Or does it? It could be coming for you.
They actually could.
So, yeah, I think the first thing we should talk about is Disneyland's 66th birthday. I had a hard time saying that the entire time we were shooting.
Yeah, it was
66th.
I actually didn't say it once, now that I think
You're
about
better
it.
off not saying it, because
I just
every
said happy
time
birthday.
I think I had to do, every time I said it, I had to do a pickup, meaning I had to make a fix and say it over, because I would say 66th so fast sometimes that it wouldn't, I'd stumble on it. It was like 67th, 65th, a lot easier. 66th.
Yeah, it doesn't flow off the tongue very well.
It's the Sith part of it, which is always a problem.
So do you feel like the 66th went as expected or not? Like, was it underwhelming or was it overwhelming?
You know, that's a good question. We kind of knew going into it that there wasn't a lot of big plans, being that it's not a kind of a round number. Like, they tend to focus on 65, 70, you know, 50, you know, they round up to the
numbers.
Yeah, and so we kind of knew, based on the things that we were hearing, right, that it wasn't going to be anything super grand. But I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised with the fact that they played the waltz speech. I think that was my favorite thing that happened, because last year we didn't get anything, and we were in the Esplanade hoping that somebody with any kind of power or influence over there would have played that at a certain time. You know how they play the Esplanade music and stuff, that they would cut in and play that, just out of respect, and knowing that, like, hey, we can't celebrate inside Disneyland, but we could at least acknowledge this moment that should be acknowledged every year, as far as I'm concerned. And that speech says it all to me. If you really want to get any true Disneyland fan right in the heart, play the waltz speech and watch grown men crumble. It's so...
And I wish, honestly, like, we could have played the entire thing.
I know.
I mean, unfortunately, it just doesn't, you know, it's a copyright issue.
Legally, we can't do that. We can play little excerpts of it. That's why in the video,
yeah, we can't
the
do
way
it and monetize. It just doesn't work.
I wish we could. But you can go hear that.
Yeah.
You can look it up and play it anywhere.
It's on the Disney Legacy CD that I actually have.
And it's worth listening to. We listen to it every once in a while, just because, and it gets us every time.
It's like the Pledge of Allegiance.
It is, kind of. Yeah, it totally is.
I have to say, though, like, I think you said something good about the anniversary, though, is like, as your hottest day in Epcot, because as you know, like,
oh man,
those days in Epcot are very hot because there's no shade.
Yeah.
And not that we've spent, like, tons of days there, you know, but we've done our days.
A fair amount of time there.
We spent over a month in Walt Disney
different
World.
weather conditions.
Right, but you said that the hottest day at Epcot didn't even compare to how hot it was there.
Oh man!
Like, I think you had borderline heat stroke.
I think I did, and we didn't discuss that. It wasn't
exhaustion.
It wasn't in the video. I might have said that it was hot in the video, but that doesn't really express to people how hot it was. And I know some people had expressed like, hey, well, I looked at what it was and it wasn't that bad, and it's hotter where I am, and you don't hear me complaining, but it's like, I have to tell you, I had sweated through my shirt in the first 15 minutes of being there.
There's also something about it, just sometimes it's the fact that where you were was not a lot of shade, you're running back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, because I was okay, but I also had my umbrella, but I wasn't running back and forth. But what they didn't see on our vlog was that halfway through the day, we actually exited the park, went over to La Brea Bakery, and, you know, our good friend gave us a cooling towel for you, and a lot of ice water, and you had to just, like, sit there, and you were bright red.
Yeah, I was overheated.
You know, you definitely were. And what's funny, though, is, like, you had been hydrated. Like, you drank a Trenta.
More than I normally would hydrate.
Yeah, you drank more than you did.
Had I not, it might have been a medical issue if I had not done that. But, like,
we did see people, by the way, on Main Street have, they took a stretcher and they took someone out for heat exhaustion.
Really? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, me and Dylan saw it, right, probably, I think you were in Town Square.
Yeah, because I was running back and forth. They started the 145 birthday thing. They started up at Town Square, and then they made its way down Main Street to where the cross street is there.
But even prior to that, though, we actually got there at like 12:45 or something, and I mean back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like,
and we had walked a tram route, which we haven't been doing that much, and that was the first time we'd done that in a while. So that adds another 20 minutes of like heat to it. That was a hot walk at the hottest part of the day.
That walking tram route is the worst thing.
I'm not a fan.
I don't like
I'm not a fan at all, and I think something needs to be done there. But anyways, that's a whole other issue. It was very hot, and I tend to ignore that stuff because there's a task at hand, and I want to celebrate and I want to share it with everybody. So I knew that I had to get certain shots. Excuse me. Dry throat. I'm thinking about the heat, and I'm like drying out.
Do you want to drink my iced tea?
Sure, because we also have a fan on us right now, and I think it's drying my throat out.
Yeah, we don't have air conditioning here in Malibu.
Oh.
I mean, obviously.
And believe it or not, I know it's on the coast, but it does get hot here.
Oh yeah. It really does get hot.
My eyes are tearing up. I have such an issue right now. But overall, the day was amazing because the only plan we had was to cover the celebration portion, which we did at the very beginning. And then after that, it was like, let's just celebrate the way we like to celebrate and enjoy the park like we like to enjoy the park with our friends.
We did want to get treats, though, and they were sold out apparently by 12:30.
Yeah, no cupcakes.
But we weren't disappointed in it. Like, you didn't even hear us. Like, normally we would have stopped and done an excerpt in the video and said, like, hey, they ran out of treats, blah, blah, blah. We didn't even touch on it because we were so excited to be with our friends, and like being with friends makes Disneyland so amazing, and just to be in there. Right.
I could do fine without, you know, sweets and treats as for my Disneyland experience. I don't need that. It's a fun layer, but it's not necessary in my for my enjoyment. It wasn't what
made the birthday celebration.
No, and so it was great to get to hang out with everybody and experience it, and you know. Do some attractions all together. That was always fun. Like when, you know, we're all on Big Thunder, or we're all on the Matterhorn together, and you just see this, you know, this lineup behind you. If, you know, depending on where we were sitting or whatever in front, you see everybody with their cameras and all that, and then to see all the perspectives of everyone's video is super fun. And
I haven't even seen everybody's video.
No, I haven't seen everybody's yet, and so that was really cool. And I guess to answer your previous question, like it was definitely lived up to its expectation for me. I was exhausted at the end of the day, like to the point of, and we stayed till the bitter end. Did, you know, a little bit of fireworks on the way to Autopia, and closed down with Autopia, and got on as many opening day attractions as we kind of could. We didn't make it like a mission to do that, but we definitely put the focus on like, hey, this was an opening day thing, and so I was satisfied. I mean, like I said, it was exhausting to the point of when we got back, it was just like, I didn't really edit till the next day.
Yeah, which normally you can. I think it was the heat that really did it for you.
Yeah, the heat got me, and
I mean, sometimes it just depends on how you're present your body is at that present moment.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not just, it can still be 85 degrees, but if you're walking around in the sun and like your body just wasn't feeling it that day, that's what it is. So. And I was keyed up because I'm trying to make things happen with the video and that kind of thing, and I have my vision of what I want to do, and so yeah, it was a big day though, and I'm glad we got to experience it. We were there, and that made up for last year. Yeah, it definitely made up for last year. I was really excited. The one thing I would have liked is some sort of merchandise, like just a little something would have been cool. Just one little thing, like even if it was a button or a pin or something. Just because I like to commemorate that. But I think that the one good thing is we got pictures and videos with our friends at the happiest place on earth that we love to be at. And that is great. And we got to have Plaza Inn chicken dinner. That was great. That's true. And that was amazing. You know, we had talked to some people who were there who had planned their trip a while ago and had said that they didn't even know that it was the birthday. Yeah. And we had a few people we talked to just so happened to be there for it, and so. Yeah, it was kind of neat to think of, like, oh, that'd be cool if you didn't know and you showed up and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like, this is actually a special day. Another highlight this week was meeting the Garcia family in person. Oh, finally met the Garcias in person. It was so wild. Awesome. And at first we were having, you know, the first kind of introductions of like, hey, how's it going, and this and that, and then we realized it, and it was like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. Like, yeah, well, it's funny because we had talked on the phone because when we gave the Touch of Disney tickets away that they gave us, and I kept like I kept hearing and I'm like, that voice sounds Brian's so voice. But I kept like, I couldn't figure it out, and then I was like, oh my gosh, that's what it is. Yeah, and then his mom is like the sweetest, and so yeah, that was really cool. That was a big highlight to get to finally touch base with the Garcias. And if you've watched any of our live streams or seen any of our unboxings, you've heard about the Garcias. Yeah, they're good people, great supporters of Disneyland as well as Best Life and Beyond. Yeah, another big highlight was Adam being back here. Like, I think just being able to have Adam back at Disneyland has been great. Yeah. I think just hanging out with our friends has been the biggest highlight of this last week. And it sometimes sounds cliche. I know. But there really is something about that collective love. There's a lot of times, and I said this when we were at Walt Disney World at Magic Kingdom one day, and we were with, you know, a kind of a mix of West Coast and East Coast enthusiasts, and I was looking ahead of me, and we were following, I think it was like, you know, it was like Dylan and Adam and I forget who else was there that day. It could have been Jackie, Nate or something. But the collective enjoyment of a group experiencing something like that together is really cool. And you know, we all share a like interest of creating videos, most of us that are doing that, and enjoying the parks. And it's just kind of fun to have a crew doing that, so I enjoyed that part of it. Yeah, you don't get to do that all the time. No. So, you know, I think that was the running theme of the week. Also, I realized we kind of talked about this a little bit, but I think you and I are starting to notice that we're really, really like feeling exhausted with the ticket buying process. Like, I realize that Disneyland is trying to help us by giving us the California resident discount, but between the, you know, and we saved for this. We knew this was going to happen. Yeah. But between the Walt Disney World tickets, between travel, between all that stuff, like, it's getting like, you're starting to see like, oh, I could go do this and spend the same amount of money. You know what I'm saying? It's just getting to the point of like, I'm getting kind of fatigued about it, if that makes any sense. Well, it adds a whole another layer of output as far as when you have an annual pass, you deal with that either monthly or one time as far as the payment's concerned, and that's it. And you don't think about that anymore. You just go and you know, consume the product, as it were, Disneyland for you know, for these purposes. And the only logistical issue is like, how are we getting there? Where are we parking? Right. This adds,
which park are we going to? What are we, you know, who are we meeting up with, or something like that. This adds a whole nother to where every time we go, it involves quite a bit of planning.
Well, yeah, there's a reservation process. There's the parking process because we have to pay for it now.
Right.
There's the walking situation.
Right.
There's the fact that you want to make sure you kind of get your money's worth. Plus, you want to, you know, spend time and enjoy it.
Right.
You know, there's, I could think of 100 things right now, but then the
that's for
tickets
anybody,
itself,
really.
though. Oh yeah, the tickets itself, though, is you know, if you're using the SoCal or the California resident one, you have to use it before September. It's nice that we don't have to have the 3 consecutive days, but then if you're using just whatever, you have to use it within I think it's 13 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, I get when people say, well, now you know how we feel, but, you know, we're not comparing apples to apples here, or whatever you apples to oranges.
Well,
we're trying to say that it's getting, we choose to live near Disneyland and work really hard and do our whatever it is, like that's the lifestyle we chose and why we have an annual pass. And it's just so hard that it's gone, and I'm just sad about it.
And to be fair, the program existed to cater to folks like us. It didn't exist for an ulterior reason and then we took advantage of it. It literally existed for people who wanted to go and experience it whenever they felt the need to or the want to, and to maybe go for a couple hours, maybe go for all day, maybe go for dinner and fireworks, or just go for one ride and leave.
And I miss that, and I miss the parking situation. It's like,
and there was a reason, like I said, why it was in existence. It benefited the company as well. They wouldn't do it. Let's be fair that it's a business and a multi-million-dollar corporation first,
right?
And then there's all of us that are consuming that product however we choose to consume it, whether we are a ticket holder who gets to visit once a year or once every 5 years or once in their lifetime, or there's the other layer of the annual pass holder who like to experience it more, and in order to do that had to find a better value system, which they provided and they benefited from, because the minute that they're not benefiting from that process, it's, you know, they're gonna do away with it. Now, some would say, well, that's why they did away with it, because that's not why. I just think that, you know, there was a restructure that was going to happen anyways.
Right. Oh yeah.
And the situation expedited that and you know, forwarded that program right out
now,
the window.
also, don't get me wrong, like, when I go in there and I know that I've paid anywhere from, we'll say, just throw $70 to $100-something to be there, it is so worth the value. It's a great time at Disneyland right now. No fast passes, heck yeah, it is amazing. Right. But I'm just saying, I'm just getting fatigued with all the steps process, because we didn't used to have to do that. It's hard. It's just, for me, it's been a lifelong.
Well, yeah, and I think that,
you know, and it's gone, and I'm just having fatigue with it, and I just want to be open about that. If you're ever catching, like, you know, a little bit of a somber, I don't know what it is, but if you're catching those undertones from me, I'm realizing that, like, I just need to be open about that, and like that's what I'm really kind of mentally struggling through. And I know it sounds kind of silly, maybe sounds stupid, I don't know, but like, it's just these extra, it's taking away a vibe in the park.
I was just going to say that.
Of, like,
it was something I mentioned to you earlier this week about the fact that, okay, so when we were saying about everybody being there together, doesn't happen as much because it takes a special event like the birthday, where all of us fellow enthusiasts and friends, without even discussing it, all booked that day, the birthday, and then realized, oh yeah, we always know we're all going to be there for that, right? Whereas, say, next Tuesday, which is just a random day, there's no guarantee that we're going to see David or Adam or Dylan or Bricky or Charlie or any of our friends. Right. And even if at the last minute we're like... That
also includes cast members too.
And cast members too. Getting to go, you know, as a perk for working there, that they get to go and visit the park on their days off with their status as a cast member and being able to go in the park.
It's that sense of community that we liked so much about it, of the regulars, of like, it's that weird old, I don't know, like you walk up the street, hey Billy, and you know, hey, there's the milkman, like, It's just those are your like you just see your people. I guess the way we feel about it is like now that this is our job, you know, that we love so much.
Yeah.
So when you go to your job, what's one of the perks of your job? You see all your friends there.
Right.
That's what makes it extra fun. Like that's what adds that extra layer. Like, dude, we're so lucky that our job lets us go to Disneyland for a living. Like, come on.
Well,
like,
because then you feel...
that's why I don't want to complain about it. But
No.
what I'm saying is, though, it's that extra little layer
Right.
of, like, these are my... It's like your family and that extra love that makes Disneyland what it is. So
Right.
it's not like, you know, again, because it's like we could go to Disneyland by ourselves, take everybody out of that park, and we'd have it all to ourselves. That's not what makes it magical.
No, and we
it's
kinda did
everybody
that
else
with-
that's in there.
We kind of did that with the cast preview. It was kind of,
Right.
as rad as it was kind of weird not having
Right,
a
but what we're
collective in
saying
there.
is we're missing that extra little chunk of element for us
Yeah.
that makes it feel extra magical.
Right.
In a way.
And also,
But everybody's is different, so I don't want to take away from somebody
No.
who goes, oh, well, I'm not a regular there, but I just love it and it feels like home for me, and that's great.
No,
That's
there's
it's just
room-
we're all different.
that was the beauty of it. Is there was room for all of that. And we knew that because, let's be fair, there's certain days that we would go, whether it was a holiday or it was who knows what. There was days, remember, we would go as APs and it would be extra crowded.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be, you know, and it wasn't because of annual pass holders. It was like, oh, it's whatever day. Yeah, I can't even think of a day offhand, but like a popular day that a lot of people would go to visit the park in the summer, maybe 4th of July, maybe Labor Day or something. I don't know what. I can't think of a good example, but point being that we still had a great time, even though maybe wait times were all like so out of control that we wouldn't even go on an attraction, but we would spend money on food, we'd buy merchandise, we'd you know, hang around and just enjoy the nature of it and enjoying the collective love of Disneyland with everybody, you know, including people who were just there for that day.
Right.
But because we're not saying at all, like, I don't want that to be misconstrued. That's
why I'm
right.
like, I don't know how
We
to
don't-
word it.
It's hard to explain, but we don't want it to be like, I wish it was just APs. Like, no, that would
no.
that would kill the vibe
I'm
completely.
saying I want my presence of
Right.
my AP so that I don't, like, also I feel, in a way, it's almost like I feel like I'm taking up the space of a person that maybe gets to go once a year, once every 6 months, and like, because we have to now pretty much almost go for like 10 times the amount of hours we normally would have went, whereas like we could have probably went on Pirates, filmed our segment, and then went home.
Right.
And instead we're having to take that whole day, and I feel like we're almost taking up the place for somebody who would want, I know that sounds crazy, but in my mind it almost feels like that.
Because
So there's that vibe.
Right, because you feel like you have to get your value worth.
Yeah.
Because
when
you
I'd
know,
rather somebody else who doesn't get to be there all the time, like,
we're not going to take up
I'd
that.
rather them
Right.
have that.
Right.
You
Like,
know,
yeah.
like that's what I feel, and so I feel
Yeah.
like that vibe is gone because it's like,
Well, and here's
I don't know.
here's a good
it's
way to.
It's weird. It's so hard to explain.
But here's a good angle for it. Before I was an annual pass holder, okay. Before
Wow.
I was somebody who was there a lot, and you don't know about this because you've always been a pass holder. But for me, I always looked to the pass holders. I remember I would buy something and do you have an annual pass? And I was like, what's that? Like, why do I not know about this? Oh, I get a discount?
Mm-hmm.
What am I missing out on? And then I started to figure out that there was people who grew up there, like you or Justin, and it fascinated me that I thought I was some guy who, oh yeah, I know Disneyland. I go twice a year, more than most people. And then to find out that there was this whole thing going on in this community, and AP days, what's that?
Oh, AP days.
Like, I want to be a part of this. And so being the general consumer, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and I want to be a part of that so badly, but I didn't really know what it was, you know? And so, you know, even on the tram, they would say it, you know?
And an annual pass is an especially good value.
Right, if you want to come multiple days. Because I know people who would come for maybe a week straight or 2 weeks. It was more
of a value
to them to just buy a season pass as opposed to buying 10 tickets in a row or something like that. So it didn't just serve locals and vloggers.
Right.
It served someone who wanted to frequent the park.
And that's where it was,
you know?
like, it was kind of a vibe for that too, because you would have people, and again, like, you have to think about it, out of a calendar year when we're there, I'm going to say, what, 60% of our life,
yeah,
we're seeing people from all different situations, and there were those people that we meet that are like, we're basically annual pass holders for a week and a half here, and it's like,
right.
there was just that fun vibe where it was like, oh, that's so awesome for you, like, I love that,
right.
and it's just like, they got this cool feeling.
They liked being a part of something.
Yeah, and then there were people that moved there newly, that like kind of moved to Orange County, or they moved to LA County or somewhere close enough that they could be an annual pass holder, and it was so cool to just like share that with them and like show them like, yeah, this is what we do every day. And I don't know, it's just there's just that whole little extra weird vibe. Again, this is not coming from a place of like, I am not beyond thankful to be back inside that park.
Right.
I love it and I'm so thankful. I'm just like ready for the next step of like, I'm getting ticket fatigue. That's what it is. It's like you're seeing how much it's costing, because it never used to cost us that. I've purchased now, what, like 6 annual passes now.
Oh, easily.
So I think you'd be inhuman to think like you're not a little bit like frustrated with it by now, you know? And that would be wrong to sit there and say, I'm just fine with it, it's okay. Like, no, I'm a little bit like sad about it, and I'm a little frustrated, and I'm ready for an annual pass, like I miss it, or a membership, whatever it may be. I want to have the freedom to go in and out whenever I wanted to, like I used to, for the most part. But going forward, talking about survival, we are doing...
I need to get something to drink. Oh my gosh.
Here.
Like that fan? It's what it is. The fan is blowing on us.
Maybe move it a little bit. But while we're talking about the future, I think we're resting. I forgot what you brought up, but I would say I wanted to say we're going to take another trip.
Yeah, we are. Our first, what's our first trip out is, well, we also...
we're going to the fair.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going to the OC Fair.
That's a trip.
That is a trip.
That is a trip, because we weren't able to go last year. It was canceled.
No, like everything was canceled.
It's the Orange County Fair, which is really the only fair we go to. I don't think we've ever, as the channel, I don't think we go to LA County Fair.
That's fair to say.
That's fair to say. I've been going to the Orange County Fair since I was as old as I can remember that they had it.
And I've been going since the first time I went a year and a half ago.
Really? Aww.
That was the first time I went. You know what? I don't know if I've even been to a county fair before we went to that. I don't know if I have.
Oh wow, it's like so tradition for my family.
Maybe I have. I just was young and I don't remember. But
wow, that's wild. We used to always go.
Stay tuned for that, because
we used to always go as a family, but then I went with work too a lot.
If you saw the episode of the time that we went in 2019, oh boy, you are in for it with this one over here. We you know, we did some attractions that Katie probably won't do again. So you're going to want to watch that video. I don't know if she's going to do that one attraction we did. I don't think you're going to do it again.
The mouse coaster will not happen ever again.
No. And...
No. Oh, gosh.
And there's one that she definitely won't do, is the chairlift. That Adam and I love doing the chairlift.
The chairlift, it gives me actual nightmares, or whatever it is, the ride that... No. My mom and I... Like I said, because we would go with our family, or my mom and I would used to go, or my sister or whatever, but so I've been going to that fair for so long. And one year my mom and I I think it was like a Thursday night, my mom and I were like, let's just go to the fair. This was like, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And we were walking and we looked and we saw the little chairlift going by. You know, I guess your perspective from the ground is different.
Like anything.
So we looked and we're like, oh, that looks like fun. You just like sit and you ride across. Like, it's no higher than that tree right there. It's not that bad. So we spend the $10 or whatever it costs to get on it. And we were fine. We sat down. We're all excited. Now, back then, it wasn't this like padded steel thing like it is now. It was definitely not. There was like, you know, like a park bench, how it's got cracks in it?
Yeah.
There was definitely a crack.
It's comprised, the seat is comprised of multiple wooden slats with little spaces
but
in between.
I can't say it was wooden, but I do know that there was slats in it.
Could have been fiberglass.
I don't know what it was, but I do know that it got higher and it got to the top, and you have to go across the entire thing. We both freaked out, so we were screaming and crying. I'm telling you, I've never been that scared. I still think about it to this day. Like, her and I send each other videos and just go, do you remember how traumatizing that was? So it's like tradition now at the fair. I make a mistake, and this year I am not going to make a mistake.
Yeah, because you've made a mistake each time.
I made the mouse coaster mistake last time. I think one time I got very sick. So it's like I always do something dumb at the fair, at the Orange County Fair.
It's all about deep fried Oreos for you. That's it.
That could be the mistake this year. I don't know what it is. Like, I know going something is going to happen.
The deep fried aspect of the fair
is great.
Is pretty awesome. The deep fried Oreo was pretty good.
Yeah, we have plans to go twice because we're going to go with our friends, and then we're going to go with my family. You know, because again, that's family tradition for us.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then after that, we're going to do San Diego.
Yeah, we're going to San Diego. We have some plans.
We haven't been down there in a bit.
The last time we went, we were at the Bahia.
That's right.
With Binky.
That's right. Binky was still with us. And this was during the situation, and things were starting to kind of open up with restrictions. And we went down there and had a good old time. It
was fun. We met up with Charlie. We went to Old Town.
Yeah.
We really just explored a lot of the city, I guess you could say. Like, we had our little scooters.
Right.
We scootered around, which we may rent scooters again.
Yeah.
And then I know we're definitely going to do another visit to Old Town.
Yeah.
We're staying somewhere pretty cool that we're not going to share openly yet. And then... Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think we're going to try and go to the zoo, too.
Oh, yeah.
The other main purpose is we're going to try to go to Tiki Oasis.
Yeah, it's the big Tiki convention, right?
I think it's a Tiki convention. Yeah, I guess you could say.
Like a... Yeah, kind of a convention of sorts, you know, with Tiki vendors and little, like, you know, booths and things like that. That's what I gather. I've never been, but I just gather that it's something of that nature. And,
it'll be something like that.
So we'll don our Tiki wear and do that.
I don't even think I have really any Tiki wear.
Well, you're not gonna fit in. I'll tell you.
Are you telling me I get to go shopping?
I'm looking out at the deck here in Malibu, and we have some
old lays.
Some old, like, fake flower lays that I'm like, well, you're gonna have to get one of those or wear one of those.
You
do something.
Find something. Oh man, I didn't think
but that's
about
necessary. That. Yeah, you can't roll up there and just be like wearing a t-shirt, like, unless it's got like some Tiki related logos on it or something like that.
I mean, I have an old dress that's like a cute Tiki dress, but I haven't worn it in a while, so I don't know if it'll even be. I don't know.
It's gonna have to happen.
We'll see. I think I might have to go shopping.
The Tiki movement and the Tiki culture is it's a pretty big subculture. Which you'll see in these videos if you don't know already. It's a big deal. A lot of people collect the Tiki mugs. A lot of Tiki bars and establishments make collector mugs, you know, every year, and people collect those. And like you see at Trader Sam's, they make different collector mugs, and people line up for hours to get these things, and they're unlimited runs and numbered, and you know,
and we've collected quite a few.
We have a few, but like our friend Johnny Gator. Oh man, he's got a lot of them. And then what those folks do a lot of times is they will take one of their Tiki mugs to a Tiki bar, and they will put the drinks in your Tiki mugs. Yeah, I've seen Johnny will take his to certain places, and he'll, you know, take pictures with like a certain mug that he has, or if he buys one there or whatever. But you can, I believe that you can take your mug and they will put your drink in your Tiki mug, which is kind of cool.
Wow. I thought we had a lot of Tiki glasses. Like, I really thought we had a lot.
We're amateur.
But, like, I mean, we do have we have this, like, closet or whatever, and it's kind of full.
Yeah. I mean, we have a few, but
we have a good amount. But I thought we had a lot, and then I've seen somewhere, and I'm like, oh.
There's, like, expert class people that just, like...
They're expert Tiki level.
Oh, big time.
Tiki level 9,000.
Expert Tiki?
Expert Tiki.
That's, I think, the term.
It'll be fun. And yeah, we're definitely going to meet up with Pixar Charlie.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Tiki Charlie, I think, is what he'll have to go by for that week. Charlie's got a lot of different names. Sometimes he's Hotel Charlie, sometimes he's Tiki Charlie. There was another one, too, I forget. We have multiple.
Yeah.
names for Charlie.
And then we also did another stay on, this was previously filmed though, but we stayed at some properties in the Anaheim area.
Yeah.
So some of those videos will come out soon.
There's another hotel that we have not
there's 2 of them.
Put out yet. Oh, there's 2, that's right. Ooh, it's been a long week.
Yeah.
I forgot. We did 2 in one day, I recall, if I'm not mistaken, or was it?
Yeah, we did 2 in one day.
It was a long week, I'll tell you.
That's why we're looking forward to relaxing.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we came out to Malibu, and we hadn't been here in a while, and
we're going to try and film at least one home vlog.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely.
Hopefully we can.
But we just wanted to get out of the, you know, once the birthday hit, it was like, okay, we knew that.
Disneyland birthday.
Yeah, and we've been, you know, on a pretty good run at Disney for a bit, and so now it's like, okay, take a little step back, and you know, because we're not entirely a Disney related vlog or channel, we do other things which you may or may not know, and because it's Best Life and Beyond, we like to live our best life, and our best life just does not just include Disney.
Yeah.
It includes other things, and so we like to showcase that, and so now we're in that part of it, and yeah.
I know, we better wrap this up. We've been blabbing for a very long time.
Blibbity, blabbity, blibbity. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any comments or suggestions, or just want to
I could already see people going, you were complaining about not having an annual pass. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I just wanted to tell you
it wasn't a complaint. It's just, yeah, we're just expressing ourselves, and we're not afraid to.
Yeah.
And you know, it doesn't change.
I just want to make sure though that we're not coming off as like complaining, and that we're not coming across as like we're so grateful to be there, and I mean that when I say that.
Oh yeah. No, we're happy to be back, and because I think, yeah, there's the sentiment that, like, you know, all you did during the lockdown was be upset that Disneyland was closed, and now that it's open, you're complaining.
Yeah.
That's not the case. It's just that, you know, when it closed, it took 1 day to close it, and now it's taking how many months to get it back up to its speed.
I think you also are just like, you're okay to mourn what you once had.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's kind of what I'm starting to feel. It's like, it's kind of creepy. I think because we're back there,
right,
I'm starting to mourn what I miss so much. And so I just want to make sure though that that's coming off in the proper way.
Yeah. Well,
not to say, because I'm looking at some people, they have not been back to Disneyland in how many years,
right,
and like
and we're beyond grateful, and we've had a great time being back there.
That's why we do this though, because
but I think we, like, you know, also, to be fair, we speak for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to voice this publicly. We are not afraid to. We feel like sharing that with you and being honest with you is more important than holding back and faking it and pretending. So, you know, we say that. And like I said about, it took 1 day to shut the whole world down, but to reboot the whole world has been taking months and months and months. And I know some will say, well, it's not over yet. Sure, but, you know, there has to be some sort of timeline to you know, get us back into you know, some sort of semblance of normal life. So it's kind of like saving money and spending money. You know, take 10 years to save a good amount of money, but you could spend it all in 1 day.
Yeah.
You know, the reverse of that is this: the world shut down in 1 day. Now getting the whole world kick-started has taken quite a bit of time.
I think I'm just really mourning like what I used to have.
Yeah.
I miss Fantasmic. I'm just missing things and feeling fatigued with the new situation as it is. I think I'm just expressing that, and I'm just hoping that it comes across that way and not the other way.
You know, as far as I'm concerned,
that's just the big thing though of this year is just you talk about something and it gets misunderstood into things that it's like, no, that's not what I was trying to say. So I think I just have this like paranoia of, but
that's going to happen, and you know, folks are going to judge either way, and it's fine. Do what you want. It's just, as far as I'm concerned, all the more
thankful for the people that support, you know, all the time.
We're just being real, but we're very grateful, and don't think we're not. And we love that we're able to be back in Disneyland. It's every time it's an awesome thing.
That birthday was everything.
Yeah, and when you hear that speech, you just kind of go, wow, like. You know, because there are times where it feels like nothing happened. It almost feels like that was a bad dream, and like, you know, there's these little moments that happen where you're kind of blinded and you're just in this moment where you don't see anybody wearing a mask, and there's nothing that about the moment that you're having at Disney that's different from before, and then a second later you're reminded that it is different. It's a combination of those two things of like, yeah, this feels just like it did, and then a second later something reminds you that it's not the way it was,
right.
and that it's still a work in progress as far as getting things back to normal. So
yeah, we'll get there though.
We'll get there, but yeah, like I said, if you guys leave a comment, tell us what you think, suggestions, comments, quements, as someone used to say, and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That helps us.
Please make sure to subscribe to our channel, because like you heard a little while ago, if you've made it this far, we're gonna be going on trips. Things are gonna be fun, and we can't wait to share it all with you. So please make sure to subscribe to our channel.
Please do, and we'll see you next time on Best Life and Beyond. Bye bye, everybody.